Hi everybody, it's Keren here from tuppencecolored.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. This is what I've been making today. It's a little ornament for the festive season. And let me put that up against a dark background so that you can see it a bit better. There it is. Can you guess what it's made out of? It's made out of one of these. Disposable wine glass. So stay with me, I'll show you how I made it. Here's what I'm going to be using today. First of all, I've got my plastic wine glass. These come in packets of generally about 10 or 12. Very inexpensive because you're meant to use them at your party and then throw them away afterwards, save you washing up. I think this kind, I've got a feeling this kind came from, I want to say Marks and Spencer's or Sainsbury's. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you, because these are left over from last year and I can't remember where I bought them, but they are very readily available this time of year. Your supermarket will have them. You know, places that sell party supplies, they've got loads of them, and as I say, they are very, very inexpensive. They cost somewhere between £1 and £2 depending on where you shop, and even I think your pound shops will probably have them as well. All right, I've gone ahead and done my die cutting on my piece of Dazzling Diamonds glimmer paper. I've used the Blizzard's Thinlits. What I really like about this particular die, I think it's meant to be a background. You're meant to put your background card behind it. But what I like is that you get multiple copies of each of the snowflakes. So you run it through your big shot just the once, and you've got all of these snowflakes. So I use 2 of this shape to make my snowflake. Piece of silver foil for the base needs to be at least 2.5 inches wide. Some of the silver metallic edged ribbon, because the base of this ribbon is whisper white and we're going for a very white snowy look here. A little bit of silver metallic mini sequin trim. That was what I wanted to say very carefully. Some of the whisper white polka dot tulle ribbon. And for my snow, I have just bought some fake snow. I think I probably got this from eBay. It didn't cost very much at all, but again, this time of year, the shops are full of this kind of product. So you find one that you like, buy a bag of it, and I think I've had this for a good 3 years because I only use a tiny little bit at a time. Lasts you for ages. This is the base of my plastic wine glass, and I'm just giving it a very generous coat of ordinary PVA adhesive. Okay, so yes, you could use your Tombow or your good craft glue, but you don't really need to. So just use the stuff that you just use around the house, or if you've got children, the stuff that that they use, under supervision, of course. So I'm being very generous with the adhesive, and luckily this particular kind of plastic wine glass has a nice little nubbin underneath that I can get hold of. And I poured out this adhesive for another project. I wasn't going to do this just now, alright, because I'd poured out the adhesive for another project, and I thought, you know what, seems a shame to waste it when I know that I want to do this project as well. So I've got that well and truly coated. Got myself well and truly coated as well. So a quick wipe. And I have here my bag of fake snow, bought for not a lot of money. Take that and grab hold of that other hand, and I'm just going to dip that into the bag of fake snow. And I mean, this is just the kind of stuff that they sell pretty much everywhere at this time of year for Christmas decorations. And I'm just going to leave that on one side for the adhesive to dry. Now it's a non-absorbent surface, so it's probably going to take at least overnight, but that's okay, I'm in no hurry. I'll come back to it when the glue has set. While I'm waiting for the hot glue to set, I'm going to work on the other half of the wine glass. I've wrapped some tear and tape around the top of it, just where the just below where the stem is. Okay, and I've got some of my silver edged satin ribbon, and I'm just going to wrap that around. Give it a little bit of an overlap, and I'm going to hold that down with the glue dot. Come back here, you. There you go. Trim away any little bits I don't want, and I'm going to cover this in just a moment. So that's going to be at the front of my snow dome, and I have some of the Whisper White polka dot tulle ribbon. I'm going to tie a bow, and I've also got I've got some of the Whisper White polka dot ribbon. I think that's what we're calling it, and I'm going to tie that into a bow. Nice big fluffy bow, just like that. And I'm going to do this bit again. I've got a length of the Whisper White polka dot tulle ribbon, which is in the annual catalogue, and I'm just going to tie a bow. Just like this. And I'm making it look a lot more difficult than it is. I'm just tying a bow, you know. But I'm just playing around with the ends of it because I want nice, pretty ends. So I'm just going to cut that. And if I use the polka dots, I get to guide me. I get a nice kind of straight look on there. Okay, and I think I want something a little bit extra there, so I've got some of the mini sequin trim in silver, and chop those bits off. And before I go any further, I'm going to put a little bit of my liquid adhesive on my finger, and I'm just going to rub it onto the end, the cut ends of the sequin trim. I'm going to lose a sequin, but I don't mind that. I can sacrifice one. Okay, and when that dries, which won't take long because I've only used the tiniest little bit, that will stop the sequins from falling off. So, another glue dot, I think. Kind of fold that more or less in half. Not going to be too precise about it. And stick those down. And there's the bow I just made. So I'm going to bring that in and pop another glue dot. I may have to go back and put a bit more hot glue on here. I don't know, I'll see how it bears up. Right, so which way round is that going to go? It's going to go that way round. And there we are. And look how pretty that is. Let me take that away. And that is so delicate. For the base, I have a piece of silver foil card, and I cut this out with one of my layering circles. I did see if I could punch it out, but this base, when I measured it, is 2¼ inches, which is the same size as the largest of the punches that Stampin' Up make. If we had the 2½ punch that we used to have, or maybe you've still got one in your stash, then that would be a perfect fit. And I'm just squeezing out some hot glue just inside the rim of the wine glass on the base of my ornament, and I'm putting it at the, like, the 4 points of the compass. So I'm going, come on you. This particular glue stick doesn't want to feed down, really doesn't. Come on, mate. There we go. And one last one here at the front. Let's put some on there as well. So lots and lots of hot glue. And trying to not glue it to myself, I'm going to centre it onto that piece of card. Go. Okay, so now the same thing happening here. I'm going to go on the edge of the glass. So 1, 2, 3. I did not want that to happen. 4. Come on. Okay. Let's stick that down. And yeah. You probably noticed that I got hot glue where I didn't want it to. I got it onto the actual dome. So what I did to correct it, I heated up the glue at the base of the, I suppose I could call it a dome now, couldn't I? So that the glue was softened. So then I could take it apart, and then I could get inside and just scrape away, and I just did it with my fingernail, just scrape away that little bit of the glue that had gone where I didn't want it to, and then I took a little bit of rubbing alcohol on a paper towel, and I just, you know, cleaned up the leftover bits. So then I stuck it back together again, and you would never know. All right, so now we can finish this off. So I have another length of my my silver, whisper white, silver rimmed, silver edged ribbon. So I'm just going to cut that just a little bit. Whoa, come back. Right, now I am now going to apply tear and tape all around the edge of my plastic wine glass or dome. And for this particular kind of dome, it's not going to make a huge amount of difference whether you see it or not, because the fake snow is very, very good at hiding the lumps of hot glue. But if you weren't putting this kind of texture on to the base there, then you would be able to see the lumps of hot glue, and they don't look so pretty. So we're going to do without them. Now we're going to find where the tape starts and ends. I got a little bit too much here. Trim that away so that I can take off the backing. There we go. And I'm going to position my ribbon with the end at the back, so hopefully it won't be too visible. And I'm just going to stick this onto the tape. Not being too fussy about it. Just stretching it to fit. It's a little bit forgiving, so it gives me a little bit of wiggle time. And where have my glue dots gone? I've got 2 boxes of them. 2 boxes of glue dots, and they all run away from me. I find this little spatula tool very, very useful. I mean, I'm using it for just about everything. It's a very handy little gadget. I could take it out, and at the other end I could have a piercing tool. And I've got an embossing tool, and yeah, two sizes of embossing tool to use as well. So really clever little gadget, and not a lot of money. I think it's about £9. Anyway, that's a glue dot where I didn't want it. Go away, glue dot. Okay, and that, I think, is just about it. There is the finished decoration. Originally, I wanted to use a different kind of plastic glass. I wanted to use one that was this shape, because I think that's more dome-like. But the only ones that I had left over from last Christmas all had splits in them, and I couldn't get any more of this particular shape, so I've gone with this one, and I do think it's rather elegant. I'm really quite pleased with it. So that is it for today. Hope that you've enjoyed this video. If so, don't forget to click that like button, or even subscribe to my channel, because I do post things here twice a week for your entertainment. But for now, thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you come back and see me again sometime soon. Bye bye.